All right, I can't believe it. Finally made it. Finally made it live here. Jeez Louise, man. The tough. Well, I'll tell you, the battles and the war sometimes, the road less traveled. I'm going to open with that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that first. They say that they say, I don't know, these successful people, they talk about this. Oh, you know, if you go your own, what do they say? Forge your own path, go your own way. Like don't worry about anybody else. Just go your own way in life, and eventually you'll make it. Um, Let me tell you something. I mean, I try to live life with a little bit of optimism, but my friend, you could go your own way in life and go absolutely nowhere. You could be digging in an empty mine, proverbially, like it's like you might be saying, "I'm going to dig in this mountain, in this mine until I find gold," and you go your whole life and you never find it. Whole life. That's just what they see. That's the reality. Let me give you an example. Excuse me. I chose things that weren't very lucrative, and also I'm kind of an old school kind of guy. I'll be 50 at the end of next year. So 48 right now. I came up before the internet generation. Like where you go to school and there was a Scantrons. I remember those pencils, books, which I still have, textbooks. But before online, before kids were getting in trouble for mining for cryptocurrency in elementary school. I mean, I read stories about this. It is true, but my point is that before, and I shied away from it. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I didn't see the need for it. And then just the whole society goes along with it. Like now, again, I have no problem. I'm working on my doctorate online. I love going to school online. Don't have to commute to a campus. I mean, it's great. It took me a while to conform to that. It was a slow transition. And for me, when I went back to community college back in '08, to pursue just my associates, I started community college back in '91. Okay. So a little here or there, I was playing baseball and stuff, '93, '94. But at least I had those credits, I had a good boost. When I went back in '08, I was like, still, I needed like about 8 months worth of work, but luckily, they had like a 3 summer sessions. I mean, it was really, I could power out a lot of work really quickly, and I did. I was really determined. And I do remember they had this program called ITV, Instructional Television. And that was like a precursor to online classes. Basically, what you would do is they would have like 4 satellite campuses, and you just needed to stop in any one of those four in LA, in the LA Community College District, at these specific times, and then you watch you get the book. Some of these classes, the book was an option. Some of them you needed it, but you'd watch the class on television, like KCET. And we're talking about transferable courses, sociology, psych, oceanography, history. Everything that was good for university transfer. To Cal State or UC. It was really good stuff, including Math 115. I'm sorry, Math 125, intermediate algebra, which breaks most students from getting their associates. Um, but anyway, I kind of like was able to gradually, adapt back in '08, and then when I got my associates very quickly, I had a very, very difficult time finding something I could do for my bachelor's, a very difficult time. We're talking about 6 years worth of difficult time. Then I found National University, and luckily, it was, huh, I'll never forget that first class. I mean, I was not a happy camper. I had to learn how to use the internet, like solely, to do classwork. I was on probation after the first class, but then after the second class, I wound up getting an A off probation. Straight took me a year and a half, got my bachelor's, and I got my bachelor's when I was 41. Anyway, that opened up the doors for the advanced degrees that I have and what I'm working on right now. Anyway, this episode is more about fitness, so let's talk a little bit about that. Went to the, what do I do, when I do, why I do, what I do. I believe that working out for me is done whenever, whatever. What was that song, Shakira? Whatever. Exactly, and that's how my approach is. Whenever, whatever. And when I mean whenever, and I mean whatever, I fucking mean it. Now let me give you an example. I told this month has not been too good for me health wise. I don't know. I had some type of like gum related irritation. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I couldn't figure it out. The doctor prescribed me this oral stuff to take, and I wound up, spitting up a lot of mucus, phlegm, or whatever. I don't know. So I still kind of am having a little taste bud irritation, but my throat is getting a lot better. So I'm just being patient with everything. But it wasn't easy because when I wasn't earlier a couple weeks ago, I was not feeling well at all. I don't know what the hell this was really throwing me off. And when something's wrong, it usually affects your whole body. I get weak and stuff, and when I'm weak, then I can't work out. When I can't work out, I don't have an appetite. When I have an appetite, I don't eat. And when I don't eat, I lose weight. And for somebody that's like naturally thin, when I start losing weight, then I don't have the exercise, and then muscle goes away. So it doesn't happen, but it might feel like, oh shit, I'm losing, my muscle and everything. But you know what? As fast as it goes away, as fast as it come back. You can't, it's not like I'm taking months off here. Like this month was very tough. February, I was really rocking it. I started the year, I was over 175 pounds, and for me, it's like I'm very solid. So, like 175, it's not bad. It's not bad. But in February, I was already, I cracked 180, and on my way to 185. I remember I was on my way there, and then bam, in March, this shit, whatever hit me. So I remember going to the hospital, and I already talked about this. I was at Cedars outside. They got these concrete barricades, those big ones. I'm doing push-ups, ankle push-ups on there, and dips with security guys looking at me like, I don't care. It's. I know these people getting out of these cars, these obese people. I mean, it's mostly people have these physical injuries, like, or the health is based on they're not in good shape. I'm in great shape. I just, it's internal. I don't know what's going on. How I got whatever. I don't put any odd substances or things in my mouth. I don't know what would happen, but you get older, things do happen, and it's very agitating for somebody that really bases his life around health and fitness to be in a hospital. Like it's just it's I try to like remain calm there because like I just I don't like being in hospitals. I like to be living. My dad died at Cedar Sinai. I don't need to rehash the story, but you know, you know. So what do I do when I do why I do what I do? I believe that, like the saying, the 24-hour fitness, they call it that reason. They call it that name for a reason. A lot of them aren't open 24 hours, but the gym I go to is not open 24 hours. But this is what I do sometimes. Um, and I keep odd hours sometimes. What's odd hours? Up all night, sleeping during, the midday, getting up around 5 or 6. That's odd hours to me. Um, Nevertheless, I utilize it to the maximum. Um, you know, with this, hopefully it will catch up. Playing slow here, but anyway, hopefully it'll catch up. Um, so anyway, I'm waiting for the time thing to go back on. I don't know what the issue is here. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. Um, if not, please bear with me. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the issue is here. They caught up, I think. So okay. So anyway, my gym's not open 24 hours, but here's what I'll do. I'll go in. It's open till like 11 during the week. So if I'm up and I feel it, I'll go to the gym at night. I'll stay up all night. I'll go to the gym, 9 till 11, 9:30, whatever, till 11. I'll stay up all night. The gym opens 5 in the morning, and then I will go again at 5, 6 in the morning. Then I go to sleep. So I don't care. Like my that there's no now. Usually I switch. Now again, my foundation is I built from the ground up. That means I do a lot of leg work, a lot. Um, but I focus on the meat and potatoes of the legs, not the calves. I I think most people say I have pretty damn good calves because I've walked my whole life. Maybe it's genetics or just walking your whole life, but mine are not bad. So I don't need to I say to these guys they have to. Some of these guys with bad genetics. I mean, I know this guy. He's a good guy and everything, but he has like popsicle sticks. He doesn't for whatever reason. Like it's and they say you got that, then you ain't gonna be a bodybuilder, man. There's no. Lee Haney talked about that today. Let me see your wheels. And if you don't got any wheels, man, everybody's got upper body. But there was a guy in my. There's this guy. I think this is some Russian guy, and he's like bar big. He's like Tasmanian devil. Like he's not even that big upstairs either. He's got a very hot girlfriend. I didn't know that it's his girlfriend, but I know now because he showed up with her and kissed her, where they each go and do their thing. Now I know I don't have to hit on her because he's with him. But this guy, he's a little shorter than me. Um, and sometimes you can't really tell if guys got good wheels or something. But this guy, he was wearing kind of tight sweats, and I saw that. No, he doesn't dare, man. No, and he doesn't do really any. The people that do leg work, and most of them don't know what they're doing. I mean, I'm just sorry. This takes an advanced. This takes advanced thinking. And there's people that have been working out a long time that don't know what they're doing. There's this guy in my gym. I don't know if he's got mental problems or something. He's probably 60 years old, and he walks around the gym at night singing. And I over sometimes he knows his music because he was singing like "Blood on the Dance Floor" to Michael Jackson, right near me, and I said, "Wow, he knows that one." I just didn't want to say, but he knows. He knows. But anyway, like he always like everything he does is around like biceps, and I did see him doing some flat bench, real lightweight though. And he just he has really no shape. Like he doesn't study. I mean, I guarantee he just goes to the gym just to go to the gym. He does move a lot of stuff, but he has like no back development, no legs. Um, just I guess for his age, I would say decent arms. That's really about it. He's like really short, so some of these people have mental problems. It's like for them just going to the gym to get that little dopamine high, and that's all they want. They're not there to really make any progress, or they'd like to, but you know, excuse me. This requires a combination of knowledge, of mental fortitude, like a desire, time, energy, food, supplementation, pharmacology. You got to know everything, really. If you don't, then it's like, they say you are like your body, what people see, what the end result was from your mind. So if there's something, it's not there, there's a reason why. Like you're not, you don't have, you're missing something, or you don't want, like it's okay, not everybody can be Mr. Olympia. I mean, that's a different thing. But for me, like Frank Zane, like he's like my height, of Rich Gaspari, way bigger than me, like, but Frank Zane a little smaller, like 5'9", 5'8", whatever, 200 pounds, solid like that. I mean, that's just like, wow, he does that pose. He does that, like when he puts his hands up, like the thing, I like, I mean, I really, I mean, you could see, I'm not like Arnold, like fucking, 6'1", 245 or something. I don't have the genetics. I never been, I have thousands and thousands upon thousands of hours of gym time, and I've gotten like close to like border fringe of 190. That's it. That's it. Now, I know a lot more than I knew back then, but I also got father time, where it's harder, like body's not producing as much natural testosterone, it's, it's body's like does it not as efficient, like easy to gain. I showed you pictures of me and Jericho at 178. I mean, I was upstairs. I was never, it's kind of bar big, but at 178, I don't think any of my upper body, I was untouchable. But that was right before my surgery, like. Now, of course, like what I mean untouchable, I mean stage competition, but I'm talking about just like, you tell people, wow, they look, even if it's 178, you look like you're 200, like I could, that means you're holding a shitload of muscle. The more you can create the illusion of size like that, you're holding a lot of fucking muscle. Um, if you look a lot bigger than you are. But you can't fool me. Like I can look at somebody, I size, I can, somebody stands there, I could tell what they're wearing by whatever clothes. Clothes can be deceptive. Um, they can actually, some things can make you look a little bigger than you are. It depends. I've been around a long time, so I can, I can summarize. I can size somebody up very quickly. I can tell when I look at somebody what they know. I know, and I know. Well, how can you tell? You look at somebody. What do you mean? You can tell, like somebody working out. You can tell what they know. Look, guys that are real warriors. Now, you can see the hardness, in their demeanor, in their face. There's a, and it's their knowledge too, like what they know. Um, you just have to know. You have to be one of those type of people that really understand. I watch videos of these hot chicks, their bodies, and I know they're taking some of these women. I could tell they're like doing these generic exercises that don't produce very much, but they take, and it's like, oh, whoa, that's really going to make you look like that. It's not. It's not. It's not. You're not fooling me. I've been around a long time. I know what's possible. I don't care how good your genetics are. You're not going to be fucking like Mike O'Hearn is 6'3" or whatever, 300 pounds, ripped like that without taking something. You're not a 280. It doesn't exist. Okay, I don't care if you've been doing your whole life because you've been taking your whole life. You're not pulling one over on me or anything. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. I don't care how hard you trying and how much gym time you have. I got a shitload of gym time. And I know what's practical, I know what's realistic, and I know what's not. And that's it. We're living in a synthetic time. Now, I say that most people don't work out. They go to the gym and they waste a lot of time. They waste time because they're not focused. They're not focused. They're on the phone. How can you be? Your mind has to be there. What I do is I'm not on the phone. I don't go there to fuck around. And that really is really hard for people to understand. That means not talking to anybody, period. Anybody, no. You're not there. If you're there and you're kibitzing with people, your mind is not focused. It can't be. It takes a tremendous amount of mental fortitude to forge the body through iron, through resistance. You have to be there, like every set and every rep. That's what it is. In between, I'm catching my breath in between sets. I'm thinking about, all right, like I'm gonna try to do this again. How much time do I have before the gym closes? Like sometimes I hate it when I like to get about an hour and a half, especially before they close, because I like to do my stretching first and my warm up exercises. That takes me about 15 minutes, maybe 20. Like it's important. These factors, and I notice my place. It's just these people. They're there to pass the time, um, and their bodies are the result of such. There was one guy I saw last night. I don't God. There's no reason. Of course, these clowns. They put a lot of weight on the Smith machine. They move their feet all the way forward, and they do like these these squat type movements. And I sit there and I say to myself, my God, like their feet are so far forward, of the bar. Let's say, a regular squat, right? Well, imagine on the Smith machine, getting in that position and moving your feet about like 2 feet forward, and they go down. I mean, it's like I'm trying to think, like, what if you slip, one foot fucking slips, you could literally kill yourself. I mean, we're talking about such an odd position. And this guy's doing like squat up till I think he put like 2.5 wheels on there. I know he's trying to like get some type of real pressure on his ass. I know what he's trying to do, but it's an oddball movement. Um, I swear up and down by doing reverse hack squats that on the machine that I get much better results than this guy, whatever the hell he's doing with that. And I look, and of course he doesn't. You don't have the wheels to prove it. I can, if I wear sweats. I never wear shorts to the gym because I personally just don't like shorts, and I just don't like. I've never liked them. Um, but if I were to compare my quads and I would blow him away. I saw he's nothing. Like you just, the guy had some decent weight on him, but that's either a combination of genetics or he's taking, but he does no development. And he has no development because I can tell the guy was on the, I'm working out right next on the Olympic. There's an Olympic station where you can, where I was doing front squats, set after set after set after set, just sets of 10 with relatively for me light to moderate weight, which is like 25s on each side. And I work it up to 40. My PR is 145 for 10. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but again, this is really good front squat, and again, I'm talking sets of 10. I can do like sets of 15, with lighter weight. And I've done 300 reps just with like 30 pounds, of 40, I think. Front squat or back squat till my back hurts. Not 300 reps nonstop, but I've done 300 reps. I've experimented with shit. And that's what I think most people would look at. I mean, I don't do generally a lot of bi work, but I started experimenting with different bicep exercises, and I noticed, and I'll throw this one out at you. I've never seen anybody really talk about this. Not even the great Michael Hearn don't even talk about. But he does this thing. I've seen him laying on a bench, curling up on a cable, with a small bar like this. He's laying down on his back and he's like taking the bar up here. I mean, that's cute, like, okay, I've seen this kind of stuff, but you know what? We have this piece on a cable. I put it up about a little over waist high. Now, I don't know how to explain this. It's a bar, but it has like, it's like a triangle type bar. So I just imagine this, like the bar is about this big, comes about right here, triangle up and the attachment. So what I do is I took the bar, right? I put real light weight, and I'm saying to myself, you know what I want to try to do is I want to stretch. I was trying to like get a good stretch of the bicep muscle. Like instead of the generic this, I'm thinking somehow like, I took my body weight just against something like a pole or something, and I was leaning back and I was saying, it'd be great if I could somehow get something the opposite way. Instead of the generic where everybody's going like this, I was saying, man, if I could get some pressure going like out this way instead, I wonder what would happen. I wonder if I would get, so what I did was I took that bar and I put like just 20 pounds, on the thing. And I leaned back and said, wow, okay, this is kind of interesting. I'm getting a better like reverse. I think it's called concentric. I think. I don't know all the scientific terms, but not the generic type. This I was getting the reverse type movement where I'm like holding it. Now I can see biceps a small muscle, right? So what I did was then I figured, all right, well let me get that bar. Let me put it on my fingertips. And once I did that, it was like something went off in my mind. I put the bar like I was holding it on my fingertips as I was going back and forth. And I started to see, wow, I mean, it really got in there, really started hitting the buys, like both my buys. I was like, holy shit. Um, so, I discovered something for me, I discovered something kind of interesting. I was like, wow. Instead of just doing the generic, where I see people like with heavy weights going like this and that, using leverage and momentum. I'll do light weights. I'm saying 15, 17 and a half pounds, maybe up to 22 and a half. Real slow and controlled one arm, but then on my left, because it's weaker, I'll do two. And I'll go back and do one. And I'll go two. And then after like 10, with the left, which would be 20 with the right, then what I'll do is I will kind of not really squat, just kind of bend my knees a little bit, and then I'll do both arms. For some reason, it gets me more into a power position. And I'll try to crank out 5 to 10. Just really hard, but I do it. And I've noticed a little better result. Now I don't have huge, I mean, of course I'm not pumped right now, but the thing I don't really have huge arms. Like big or anything. People always tell me, "Oh, you got big arms." I don't know what the fuck you're seeing that I'm not. I guess I do like variations of tricep work. I've always done a lot of tricep work. I can do on the Smith machine, like close grip to like with 2 plates, even more sometimes. So that triceps is biggest part of the upper arm. So I hate when people say arms. What part of the arm are you talking about? You talking about the forearm? You talking about what the tries front? What are you talking? People say, what do you do for arms? I have a friend. He asked me. He's watching television. And he asked me a question. What do you do for arms? What kind of like if you're serious and you want to learn something, you better turn off the fucking TV, get out something to write on, or go with me. Like it's like people want. It's like me seeing a millionaire. Like as I'm watching television, how do you make money? Like they look at you like you're a fucking idiot. They're not going to take you seriously. It doesn't show that you're very serious, and people. I would never work with somebody like that. I wouldn't waste my time. Like I know this one guy with his kids or something. I would, at the park they have like all these different calisthenic stuff you can do, and took my shirt off. The guy was looking at me like, and I don't know. I didn't really. It just felt kind of awkward because I know he was thinking something kind of weird, but I was trying to work on my tan as I was working out. Like I'm not there to try to show people anything. Haven't done it in a while, this month especially. So again, you can see I'm still recovering from whatever the fuck happened to me. Um, so weird. Maybe I had COVID. I don't know. Um, so that it really is always learning, experimenting, saying, okay, well, let's try this. Let's see what happens with this. Let's modify. And that's the problem. Is a lot of people they just don't really they're not even there to learn. I mean, I could be teaching like from open to close. I could just be if but they couldn't pay me enough. I mean, they insult me. They, by these how much they pay. First off, personal training. Whatever this ISSA, whatever they call it, and these people that give out these certifications that make you a personal trainer. I think that they should have certain things for people that have been involved for like 30 years. Like people that really are far, far beyond, the level of thinking of some of these. I mean, at my gym, there was like something that said these master trainers, and they're like 25 years old at that. Cars up master. I'm just about twice your age. The morning of 9/11, I was working out, and I don't know. I didn't know. I knew about 30% of what I know now. Okay. So and that means at least I know 70% more than you. I mean, it's like I'm so far beyond you that it's like I should be making. I mean, I can't even tell you for my time. It would be like $150 an hour. I mean, it would be fucking really, really substantial for what I know. The mentality, the psychology, the how to. It's not just monkey see, monkey do. I talked about that already. People watch. I guarantee they're watching and trying to pick up something, and they're never going to be able to because they don't know exactly. They don't know why I'm doing why, whatever. They're just watching. They have no idea. I don't think I can't tell you like in my whole gym if I've seen really one person that knows really what they're doing. They just don't, and it's not my job. They can't. I could size up somebody so quickly because I've been doing this that long. Now I'm not saying I have the most time out of everybody, but I mean, I just do. Again, I have training logs that go back years and years and years. But it's not just I've been going to the gym. It's what I do when I am there. So let's just leave it at that. What do I do? I can't. I do everything, but I don't train everything every time. Again, I told you I built from the ground up, but then I don't do any exercises for my feet or my calves. So it's easy to misconstrue when I say I built from the ground up. I say, well, I do legs. Well, most of it revolves on the upper part of the legs because that's where the meat is. The meat is where your quads are behind your hams, your sweep up to your ass. And it took me a long time to understand. I don't care about building it, making my ass big, but once I realized that your ass is connected to your legs, that that's where how you get it big. So it took me a long time to put two and two together, and it also took me a long time to figure out a way to get to be able to hit areas without putting pressure on the places that are susceptible to injury, like the meniscus, like the ACLs, knee, all that whole area around there. And that's like people, they're doing exercises that are generally worthless. And the worthless exercises don't add up to very much. They don't get you much as far as strength. They're not building a body. They just, wear you out, and I mean, again, this all comes from knowledge. This all comes from learning. This all comes from trial and error. It comes from time. You don't have to train like we have a word in Yiddish called Michigan, a crazy person. You don't got to train like a Tom Platz, this insane, nuts that he says, I've watched his stuff now. A lot of intensity built on experience, I know. But you got to learn how to take your foot off the gas every once in a while. That doesn't mean it's come to a stop. But what I do is, I work consistently. I told you, sets of 10 with moderate to about moderate for me with those front squats, but I'm consistent with it. And I just keep working on better form. I work on really feeling the muscles working. Not about it's only 10, 20 pounds on each side. I know it looks like nothing with that giant 45-pound bar, but you know what? It's the work. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Don't worry about it. Worry about getting the results. Worry about doing the exercises better. The hack squats, I know I don't put a lot of weight on there sometimes. It's 25 on each side, 40 pounds on each side. It's nothing. It looks like nothing. But I'm cranking out the reps, 20 reps, 25 reps. I'm putting another 225s on there. It's like, I know it looks like nothing, like 15, 20 reps, focusing on the form, focusing on feeling inside, getting in there. Like I got to stop doing Smith machines, because I felt like, okay, well, just controlling it. I'm not able to hit all facets of the legs. And that's what these guys, I notice these guys, they put a shitload of weight on that Smith machine because it's easy. It's easy. You don't have to worry about form, balance, and everything. But that form and balance is everything. It hits areas, parts of your legs that you can't get to with that Smith machine because it's all controlled. They just put a lot of weight on there because they want to show off. They think they're going to show me something, but they're not showing me anything. They're not showing me nothing because they don't know anything. I have never seen, that hack squat machine we have in my gym is barely ever used. I use it because I know what I'm doing. Not the only person that knows how to use it, but I and then that other machine that I've never seen anybody use except me. I'm the only, actually, one other guy was sitting on it once. That's the only other time, but I use it. This like nobody ever uses that. I use it. I use it for hamstrings, kickbacks. I'm not, I would challenge actually anybody in my gym. Anybody. Anybody. Yeah, Ronnie Coleman goes, anybody. As far as like overall leg development, I am the bar. There's nobody in there that can touch me. Nobody. Period. Like you can just come in there and say, okay, here, you want to let's see. Like we can do a pose down. You're gonna lose. Period. You would have to be cut out. You would have to be better than me. And I know you're curious. You want to say, well, why don't you show me? Like, why don't you stand up and pull down your pants and show me? You know what? I don't feel the need to prove. Because when I say something, I know what I'm talking about. So in this case, now of course, there's people that are way better built than me. Of course that, but I'm just saying, I look around my gym. There's nobody in there that can touch me lower body. Of course, I can squat more than me, actually, but none of them have. I've never seen anybody been able to out rep me. Nobody. Nobody has been able to outwork me. Like I remember there's like the whole area where all the leg stuff is, and with hack squats or whatever, and these guys on the Smith machine, they're on there for like 7, 8 sets. And I'm doing fucking, whatever other, and they quit. They're done before me. They're there from I see how long they're there and everything, and I see exactly what they're doing, and I know I can out rep these guys. Not in weight. I know these guys can do a lot more weight than me, but they cannot out rep me. I've never seen anybody put like real lightweight and then do tons and tons and tons and tons. Nobody, none. They're not warriors. That's why. Okay. Yep. Anyway, you can only work with what your genetics, what you have. I saw a guy. He was a couple friends, I think. This guy was fucking young. He might have been 25 or something like that. And I don't. He wouldn't open up a car door. When I was walking down the block coming home from the gym. I don't know if this guy works out or whatever. They don't really look like it. But this guy, his genetics were like fucking really badass. I could tell this guy, like, if he was serious, he could really build a one. Like, he was just out there partying with his friend, like he could care less about it. And I looked at this guy, I was like, holy fucking shit. And this guy, no, I could tell somebody that it was really interesting to see somebody like, some of these young people, like, 200 pounds is nothing. It used to be like 200 or something. No, I see plenty of guys. They don't even work out. They're 6 feet, 6'1", 215, 220, or 200 or what.
And I'm like, God, these guys got great genetics. They got decent size. And they're not even really fat, they just don't work out. I'm like, God, I work my ass off. And they're better, they're bigger. They're bigger, they're not better. Okay. There's no way, how can you? If I'm working out every day or sometimes twice a day and eating something, you're not going to. There's a term that I use. I call it dusting. Now, what I mean by that is like I know the hierarchy of life is not comparing yourself physically with other people. However, it has been my experience that I have noticed many of men with women that happen to be relatively tall with short women. And they are 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2" plus, whatever. And they walk by me. And what I mean by dusting somebody, like that means like you look like a nothing compared to. Now, I am like in the, let's say 180 right now. I lost a little weight, whatever, but that doesn't mean I've lost everything because I got a little sick. But, you know, but I'm not just 180. I'm a very, very solid 180 as somebody that works out every day. Um, so if a guy is like 6'1", like 215, 220, whatever, it's a good sized person. And with this girl, he's walking by, right? And you're on the sidewalk. It's like, if you're a little twerp, you're gonna move out of the way, kind of thing. You're gonna look like a nebbish. You're gonna look like a nothing. Now I understand, like this is not high school anymore, but please bear with me and the understanding. Being dusted means like somebody makes you look like a nothing. Now you can't do anything about the height. Somebody's taller than you, but there's an immense difference between somebody that's 6'1", 6'2", that doesn't work out, and somebody that's 5'7" or 5'8", that's a bodybuilder walking by. They look a lot. They're big. They're tall. They're walking, and it's like So this. I said like if somebody dusts you. Like you say, man, you got dusted by that guy. That means like you don't look like a nothing compared to that person. Now again, I know there's huge bodybuilders out there and everything. Most people aren't though. But my point is that you can't do anything. Like I've read this in the Mystery Method or the Neil Strauss, the C or whatever. And women generally like taller guys that are 6'1" plus, 6 feet, whatever. And so my point is that, like I feel like when you're walking by, if you're small, like a little nebbish, and some guy is like 6'1", 6'2", you look like a nothing compared to him. So you have to be, you gotta be like, you gotta offset that shortness with physical, like building a body. Like you gotta look like something. You have to. Now again, well, there's plenty of people that are short that get these guys. I don't know. I don't know. My point is, I don't like getting dusted. Okay, I don't like it. It makes me feel like an inferior man. Okay, it just does. They say your body is a reflection of your mind. So if you're a little nebbish, what does that mean inside here? If you're a little nothing, if you don't, what does that mean? It means you're a nothing, generally. You're. And I've had to deal with this my whole life. I know guys, I grew up in the nightclub scenes, okay? I had a big mouth too. Like people said something, so I opened up my mouth too. They want to kick my ass. There's a huge difference. You gotta have like power. You gotta, there's a lot of, even if you live in an affluent area, there's bad people out there. You need to be not just like imposing, but you need to have strength and power so somebody doesn't try to do anything to you. Now I know there's people that they can one up you. Yeah, that's true. But there's something about when you can hold your own with confidence, when you have some strength. And I'm not talking about being a bully or something like that. No, I'm just talking about your own self-preservation, about being a real man. And to me, being a real man is being strong. It's being fit. It shows like strong mind, like you're something. You don't gotta compete with people in the gym and stuff like that. Hey, if it's healthy competition, then that's okay. But I don't need to do that. The gays in my gym, I can't compete with guys that take steroids. I've seen guys that take okay, and it blows up the muscle. Like of course they're gonna look, but again, I can tell that still, even that, there's like an artificial, blown up kind of look that they're go. I've held my own against people like that because of what I know how to work out. There's a big difference, you know. Just because you have a blown up look from taking gear doesn't mean you can one up me either. You can't you think you're gonna dust me because you're taking some anabolic. No, because when I pump up and I have separation, like V-tape shaper, I can hold my own against anybody in my gym, anybody. And that's not saying very much, but like still, when you know what you're doing, it shows. Period. When you know what you're doing, it shows. It just will not, part of just creating the best version of yourself. It's just creating the best version of yourself. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed, came away with something a little informative with this episode. I try to be this straightforward and direct sometimes.